I was contacted about a year ago by a woman who wanted to go to Machu Picchu, or she was scheduled to go on a trip to Machu Picchu, and but she had rheumatoid arthritis. And she was concerned about, the extensive walking and stairs and the challenges.
Great to see you again.
Good to see you again, too. Hi, my name's Becki Rupp, and I am the founder of Trailblazer Wellness. I'm a personal trainer and certified health coach, and I do adventure travel coaching. So I have combined my background personal training as a certified personal trainer with my coaching experience, and specifically aiming to work with and do work with people who do adventure travel, because that is something that I love to do. Love to go all over the world and do multi-day hikes, multi-day bike rides, some backpacking, and I would use my experience to help others enjoy those pursuits as well.
Mm-hmm. And again, that's when I heard that story, and actually that was, I'm in a business myself, so I know how difficult it is to kind of come up with a new ideas. And to me, that's, I've never heard anything like that before. And I think that you have something very unique in your program, is that you do have people that are motivated. They actually have achieved success in their life, and they have a financial security that they want to enjoy their life to the fullest. And and you facilitate that. And you were able to market and actually make it a business, and that's fascinating for me. So congratulations.
Thank you.
Tell us a little bit more about what would you consider a success story that you've had, as an example.
Yeah, sure. So one of my recent success stories is I was contacted about a year ago by a woman who wanted to go to Machu Picchu, or she was scheduled to go on a trip to Machu Picchu, and but she had rheumatoid arthritis, and she was concerned about, the extensive walking and stairs and the challenges of those activities, because it's a little outside of her normal life. So we worked together to put together a program to increase the amount of walking that she was doing regularly, to increase her strength through some specific exercises that would help her build her leg strength and her balance as well, so that she'd be able to manage the uneven terrain. He had her doing more and more steps each week, on the staircase in her building, as well as outside, and some outside stairs that she found. So she, took this on. She was very dedicated to the program and did really well. And when she went on the trip, she said, the people who were on the trip with her were just really amazed at how well she did. And then she actually sent me her Christmas card this year with a picture of her in front of Machu Picchu, and I did it right on the front. So
that's pretty challenging. I think that's elevation on top of being uneven terrain, right? That's the even tougher.
Yeah, higher altitude, and yes, it was just it was a big challenge for her, and it was something that she had really wanted to do. So it was exciting to support her on developing the confidence, as well as the actual physical capability to be able to do that.
So would you say your clients are primarily men or women?
Primarily women, yeah, 90% women. Most of them, probably 50 to 60% of them, are between ages 45 and 65. I have a few younger ones that I've worked with, and a few over 70.
Wow.
That I've worked with. So yeah, it's a really huge range.
Yeah,
really interesting.
And are there mostly Americans, or do you have anybody from a foreign country?
Mostly Americans, but I just recently had a Scottish client. I've had some people who live overseas, but yeah, mostly Americans. I think I maybe had one Canadian so far. So
That's fantastic. I think that the power of internet, that you can actually help somebody in achieving their goal. That I think I love it. Now, when you work with your client, tell me a little bit more about what's the nuts and bolts of your program design and your methods that you use.
Sure, absolutely. Yeah, I put together a structured training plan with a week by week recommendations for the amount of cardio, the different types of cardio activity to do, strength training, balance, and also just some stretching and mobility. So I put it together based on where the client starts and what their goal is. So, obviously somebody who's looking to climb Kilimanjaro, their program's going to look a lot different than someone who's walking the Camino de Santiago. So I incorporate the different elements, build out the plan for progression. So starting again where they are and then adding incremental activity. So 10 to 20% each week, so that they can build up gradually and their bodies can adapt to the additional workload and, build that up over time so that they get close to what they'll be able to be doing.
And they check in with you. How often do they check in with you?
Yeah, I check in about once a week by email or text, but then depending on how much coaching support the client wants or needs, then we have a Zoom call either weekly for 30 minutes or every other week for about an hour for people who have more questions or working through more challenges. Some people just, really like to have a weekly check-in. My client who I mentioned before, who did the trip to Machu Picchu, she likes to check in every week for half an hour and just, see how everything's going, questions, just reflections on their progress, and then recalibrating or troubleshooting anything that's come up.
Yes. So from your clients, what do you think is the favorite destinations that people are trying to acquire your help to do? What would be I would assume has to be more of a high climbing type of thing.
Yeah, it tends to be a little bit more challenging. People usually reach out to me when it's something a bit outside of their comfort zone. And so that's why they want some additional help to get ready for it. The top 3 trips or destinations that I usually work with people on are Kilimanjaro is a big one because that's a big bucket list thing for a lot of people. And it's also very much outside the normal what they would do, even if they're big hikers. They haven't necessarily climbed a big mountain like that. It is non-technical, but it's still pretty challenging. The Inca Trail and South Continente Trail, those 2 routes to Machu Picchu are very popular. And I see a lot of people who want to do that. And then the Camino de Santiago is
in Spain. In Spain, that's more of a very lengthy track, if I recall. And in your opinion, which one is the most challenging of those 3?
Well, I think
Machu Picchu or Kilimanjaro? Let's take those 2.
I think it really depends. It's interesting because I have had people who've done one or the other before they've worked with me, and some people say that the other one. I've gotten both opinions.
Really?
Personally, I think Kilimanjaro is a little bit harder. I've done both of them. I've also done one of the Caminos as well. So I've done all of those trips. And I would say Kilimanjaro was the hardest for me, especially because summit night it's a very long day and night. And also it has a very large descent after you summit. You go down, you descend quite a bit.
So take us through the experience. Do you start the hike in a group or do you go by yourself with a guide? I would imagine.
Yeah, with a group, with guides and
Mhm.
porters. Yes.
And,
So I think some people you can hire a private guide and porter to do it, but most people do it with a group.
and how long does it take? I guess they usually do they separate as far as if you consider yourself fit or medium, or is it? I would imagine that not everybody makes it to the top.
Not everybody makes it to the top, certainly.
Mhm.
And then the number of days that you take to do it can depends on what you choose. You can
Uh-huh.
choose to do it in as few as 5 days, I believe, and or as many as 10 days. The version I did, I went on a 7 day trip. So it's
It took
five
7 days.
5.5 days up and then 1.5 days down.
Wow. You know what? I did not realize.
Yeah, it's a long, yeah, there part of that is to acclimatize to the altitude so you don't go up too fast, and
Mhm.
that can be, if you go on a shorter itinerary, um,
Yeah.
the success rate is lower, partly because of the acclimatization situation and altitude sickness. But the groups that go together, they often have and they should have enough guides and porters that if someone doesn't make it, if they get to a point where they can't go on, then they go back to a lower point, and then the rest.
Mhm. So how about the Machu Picchu? Is that also is that also a few day track,
Yes,
or is it also?
mostly, yeah. The most popular eco trail route is usually 4 days, and um, you can just go straight to Machu Picchu. You take a bus and go straight to Machu Picchu. But if you wanted to do the Inca Trail, that takes about
I
four
see.
days. And then there's a Salcante option. It's called the Salcante Trek, and that's usually 5 or 6 days.
Now, coming back to Kilimanjaro, so you have, I guess, porters. So do you sleep in a tent? Would that be a
Yes.
camping for the night?
Yeah.
Are they?
Yeah. So there is a route where you stay in like a hut. Um, you stay in like buildings,
I
but
see,
most of the routes you're camping.
camping. And are there any animals, wild animals that you have to be aware of
No,
on
there's so
Kilimanjaro?
many people. All the animals are like have run away. Some
Okay, well,
monkeys. We did see some monkeys, but
okay, that's about it.
down low. But also, you get to a point in the altitude where there's just no wildlife because it's so high altitude. So yeah.
I see. I see. Well,
Yeah.
that's fascinating. So I want to know is if you, what was the best advice that you were actually given?
For my
Not necessarily.
business.
Let's say that you were a girl, a young woman, and somebody gave you a piece of advice that always stuck with you. Which one? Which can you pinpoint?
Hmm.
Is that special moment?
I don't know. I think it just my parents always encouraged me to, it sounds so cliche, but to pursue whatever I wanted to do, and that I could, if I worked hard, I could definitely, do whatever I had in mind.
You know what? And I'd say I feel I feel exactly the same because all of those important pieces of advice that kids or young men and women hear, it sounds like a cliche. But the
Yeah.
older I get, I realize that you know what, those cliches is actually that's why they survive, and they
Yeah.
have their wisdom behind them. And it's so funny that you mentioned that because I try to convey the same message, to my son, and it's when I listen to myself, it says I sound like a cliche guy from could be but it's I think it resonates after a while, after kind of you've been around a while. Now, if you were specifically meeting yourself when you were 20 and you would
Mhm.
confront her,
Yeah.
what advice would you give yourself at 20?
I would tell myself to, when I realize that I'm not happy in a job or a situation, to move on sooner than I have. I stayed in a job and a career for a long time before I started my business, where I really was unhappy and I was really frustrated and struggling in a lot of ways. But I was just really tied to, having a regular job, having the paycheck come in every 2 weeks. Um, and I was very worried about letting that go and really following my parents' advice to do what I wanted to
Exactly.
do.
Right.
But once I did, it was, definitely challenging starting my business. But in some ways, I wish I'd done it sooner. It's been really rewarding, and it's been a great way to um, feel like I'm really impacting people's lives in a positive way.
I think that it sounds like it. That's why it's in my business, with the personal training and trying to present a routine that's meaningful to people, my clients. That's always, it is a big undertaking because whether it's I like what I do personally, but again, I really love the way to kind of have the outreach through the internet, which usually you're not scared, but you're still a little bit apprehensive about putting yourself out there. But then when you're reaching people from different parts of the world, it is rewarding. So I wish that also I started a little bit sooner. I appreciate and I love hearing from people that open up my eyes to something totally new, and you definitely did that this today. So I want to thank you again for your patience with me not pressing recording, and again for being so kind to be speaking with me.
All right. Thank you
Thanks.
too. Take
Bye-bye.
care. Thanks. Bye-bye.